Hey everybody, welcome to another video of Intelligence Maxing. I guess this is day 83 now, so working our way over almost day 100, 17 more days. But what I want to do today is I have a bunch of books I haven't read, and I want to read them. So one of them is actually called War by Bob Woodward. I have a few on my table here that I want to check out. Oliver Franklin Wallace also. He wrote a book called Wasteland. I also have a few books by Aswath Damodaran, The Corporate Life Cycle and Narrative in Numbers. But I think some more interesting ones to read. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are interesting. I also have Palo Alto and Emperor of All Maladies. Palo Alto, I forgot the author of that. I do want to double check. Then Emperor of All Maladies is written by Siddharth. I forgot his full name, his last name. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff here. Oh, Wasteland is already in here. So I think the way I might structure this is spend, say, 15 minutes reading each of these books. Let's see if that's even possible. That would be like huge context switches. It would be fun to try. Bob Woodward, okay. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I have a few books here. Today I'll read War, Wasteland, Palo Alto. So 3 of these. Start, you can hit, if we do the Emperor of All Maladies, you get 15 minutes of each. So I'll try that. Okay. So War. War. Biden. Foreign. Bob Woodward. I think Bob Woodward is actually a pretty famous. Oh. An investigative journalist. That was famed, that grew, became well known. Watergate break-in. During his first 9 months at the Washington Post. Okay. Okay, well. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. I did write some notes here. Watergate burglary. Okay, so I think the way you structure this is there's sort of these main characters, and I want to say, I know who Donald Trump is. Let's take a look. So January 6th, apparently the FBI estimated that over 2,000. 5 people died. Okay, looking for a pencil. I want to find this actually. House Select Commit. January 6th. I don't know what's going on. Who's Benny Thompson, by the way? Okay. What is DMS? January 6th, Select Committee, final report. Oh, Jimmy Raskin, Maryland. Okay, yeah, I live in Maryland. This is 45 pages long. Who's gonna read all of? I guess half of this could be like notes. This is a lot. Died. All of them were turned by relatives. Interesting. Six. This is confusing, yeah. Right. Yeah, this is kind of a tragedy almost. This is a tragedy. Having to... I mean, whether or not it was caused or not, I don't know the exact details behind this. What were the casualties behind the January 6th attack? What year did this happen? Okay. The January 6th attack happened on day of the week. Was this a Wednesday? 2021. On the Capitol, the FBI estimated over 2,000 people entered Capitol. Five people died. 172 police officers were injured, and more than 150 people were arrested. The damage to the Capitol building was estimated to be $2.7 million. Okay. Chapter 1. Interesting. Okay. So Kevin McCarthy, I think he was ousted, right? Former Speaker of the House. Who is Kevin McCarthy? Was his role in the transition of power between Trump and Biden? Kevin McCarthy was the minority leader in the House of Representatives from 2019 to 2023. Okay. He during slides. Kevin urged Trump to renounce his campaign to overturn the election results in the 2020 presidential race against Biden after the January 6th attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Okay. Yeah, good to know. So now I know Kevin McCarthy. It seems like he was right, January 2019 to January 3rd, 2023. So exactly 4 years. Was the minority leader in the House of Representatives. And then it seems like, according to Bob Woodward, after the January 6th attack, it seems like Kevin McCarthy told him to renounce his campaign to overturn the election results. Ronna McDaniel. Okay, who's this? Ronna McDaniel. Okay. It's interesting because I feel like Mitt Romney, I don't know, like, this is an interesting politics discussion. I feel like Mitt Romney wasn't a really big Trump supporter But it's interesting to know that his, I guess in this case, cousin or niece George W. Romney. Okay, Senator of Utah. Interesting. I wonder what he's doing in Utah. Okay. Who is Ronna McDaniel? What was her significance with Trump? Okay. His campaign in 2020. So Ronna McDaniel was the leader of the Republican National Committee, the RNC, which I feel like is the governing body, primary committee of the Republican Party. From January 19th, 2017 to March 8th, 2024. So it's 7 years. She is the niece of Mitt Romney, Utah State Senator. Okay. Very interesting. So Ronna McDaniel was the leader of Republican National Committee. Okay, and after Trump lost his presidency, his bid for the 2020 election, Trump threatened to start his own party. and leave the Republican Party, but McDaniel clapped back and threatened to cease paying Trump's legal bills and release his campaign's email list for free when Trump was selling that list for money. Okay. Ed Rollins. Let's see, there's this other guy, Ed Rollins. Who is Ed Rollins and what did he say about? What did Bob Woodward write? Quote him for. So Ed Rollins was a Republican, is a Republican campaign strategist and once said that Trump watches television all day and then at night goes on television. Okay, it's cool. Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain. Who is Ron Klain and what did he say? He claimed he say was the reason Trump lost the 2020 election. Ron Klain was the chief of staff I think I spelled chief wrong. Chief of staff under President Biden from 2021 to 2023. Bob Woodward quoted him in saying that the reason Trump lost was this. He didn't control the pandemic and the economy. The real economy, apparently. You know, it's interesting. I feel like Presidents Trump and Biden do get blamed a lot for the economy, even though I feel like they don't have too much power over what goes on in that space. And I feel like the economy is sort of cyclical, right? Maybe it's just luck of the draw. Okay. So that was all chapter 1. I think there are 77 chapters in this book. Yeah. Okay, so I think it's good for now on war. Yeah, let's move on to Emperor of All Maladies. I read through a few pages, but I feel like it would be worthwhile to actually start from chapter 1. And I think this is actually broken into 6 parts. Guess 8 parts. There's a prologue, parts 1 through 6, and then Atosa's War. And I think Black Color Without Boiling is a reference to, I forgot the guy's name, but there was this scientists or oncologists in the very olden days. Yeah. Forgot his name though. Shoot. Emperor of All Maladies. So, what are the how many distinct parts does Emperor of All Maladies have? What are the names? Part 1 of Black Color Without Boiling. Part 2. So there are 6 parts. An Impatient War. Part 3. Will you turn me out if I can't get better? Part 4. prevention is the cure. Part 5, a distorted version of our normal cells. I guess that's probably referring to the actual cancer cells. Part 6, the fruits of long endeavors. Okay. Look, emperor of all maladies. Nice. Alright, how's the live stream doing? 0 views. Let's go. Is this frozen at all? No, it's not. Nice. Okay. All right, Carla Reed. Sydney Farber, right. That's the guy. Who is Sydney Farber? What? So Sydney Farber, I think, was one of the first guys who discovered the idea of chemotherapy. I could be wrong. Pediatric pathology. Hymenopterin. Okay. I think this is chemo. Right, maybe Sydney Farber was one of the first, was a pediatric pathologist, a children's disease specialist that helped discover chemotherapy. I'm gonna double check. Sydney Farber. And is known as the father of modern chemotherapy for his work in treating, combating leukemia. Right. the GOAT. Thank you for saving the lives of a lot of people. Okay, what is a pathologist? Pathologist. Looks at bodies / tissue. Diagnose. Is how you spell diagnose? Diagnose. Diseases. Okay. It's a pediatric pathologist, which I guess is someone who has to look at bodies or tissues to diagnose diseases. For combating leukemia, what is leukemia? Leukemia is, I think, white blood cell cancer, but acute lymphoblastic, okay, is a family of cancers. Actually, maybe ChatGPT would be helpful. Is leukemia a family of cancers? That affects the blood, bone marrow, and lymphatic system, that involves the abnormal production of white blood cells, overstimulated production. Okay, so what is the difference between leukemia and lymphoma? I'm always confused about this. Okay. Primary site of leukemia is in the bone marrow and affects, so okay, got it. One more, another question. So lymphocytes are just a specific type of white blood cell, right? Okay, so B cells and T cells, right? Lymphocytes. Oh, white blood cells are lymphocytes. Lymphocytes also produced by our body's bone marrow. Oh man, hematopoietic stem cells in the bone marrow. Mast cell, myeloblast, monocyte, macrophage, plasma cell. I guess this is sort of okay. Yeah, this is kind of getting beyond beyond my high school biology class. Damn, this is pretty complicated. Leukemia can also affect lymphocytes, correct? Leukemia versus lymphoma. Call it overproduction. Oh. Okay, it's interesting. Leukemia, source chat GPT, medicine. The origination site of leukemia is in the bone. There's all white blood cells. Bone marrow. So where white blood cells are produced. Okay. John Bennett, there we go. Virchow, Rudolph Virchow, and John Bennett. (1845). I guess that was after the U.S. had declared they were a country. I think that was 1776. There's a term, metastasis or metastasis. I think that's when the cancer spreads around. What does separation mean? Oops. Pus formation and discharge. Prepare to be grossed out. Oh, God. Okay. Basis inflammation. Okay, yeah, this is pretty intense here. But I guess this would be, yeah, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Well, it seems like John Bennett was talking about like some type of cancer, and I guess this is how blood responds to, what did it say? Process of pus forming, humored. Okay, caused by infection. So what is the concept of suppuration? In medical world? Okay. Suppuration refers to the formation of pus caused by an infection. I guess an infection would be some type of bacteria or virus that causes some type of immune response. Is pus? What is pus? So, white, yellowish, white fluid that is a mixture of white blood cells plus tissue plus dead plus bacteria. Abscess. A separation of blood. I don't even know what that means. Was like the blood responding to some type of infection? Impetuously into anything. Okay. John Bennett's. Wait. Scotland. Physician. Okay. As a blood disorder. Okay. It's cool. I'm gonna definitely add this here. I feel like it's worth mentioning, worth understanding. So, who was John Bennett's? What was his contribution to oncology? John Bennett was a Scottish physician in the 1800s that helped discover tribute leukemia to being a blood disorder in 1845. Calling it a separation of blood after observing rapid accumulation of white blood cells. A patient died. Oh man, so this is kind of making me squirm a little bit, but it seems like in the 1845, the way that you would treat back then leukemia was through leeches. Oh god, it sounds nasty. And purging. You know, it's not even that long ago. It's like just within 200 years. Oh god. It's like 2 lifetimes almost. Maybe 3 lifetimes. Yeah, a lot could change in just a lifetime. Died from meaning build up of white blood cells in response to infection. Was a Scottish physician in the 1800s that helped attribute leukemia to being a blood disorder in 1845, calling it a suppuration of blood, so it's a buildup of white blood cells in response to an infection, after observing rapid accumulation of white blood cells in a patient that died from leukemia. Okay. What is purging? In medicine. Wait, in ancient medicine. Oh god. How did John Bennett treat his patient with leukemia? So, and doctors in the 1800s. Yeah, not just John, but it seems like that's a common way of treating any really big disease in the 1800s and before that. By using leeches, blood-sucking leeches, and purging techniques. So, vomiting / shitting your heart out. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I might regret it, but blood-sucking leeches. Oh god, that looks so disgusting. Ugh, this is making me squirm. Ah, man. Ancient medicine. Ew, who came up with this? Oh, God. That's so gross. Oh, God. I'm like... I feel my spine shivering right now. Oh, God. Thank God medicine is not like this anymore. Ugh. Okay. I'm gonna add one more thing about Virchow. Okay, Virchow, and then let's see, Rudolph. So it seems like Virchow was the guy who actually coined the term leukemia. Oh, wow. The greatest pathologist. So, trying to remember, so a pathologist or pathologist is someone who looks at bodies or tissues and tries to diagnose some type of disease. Okay. Oops. Here we go, Wikipedia. Study of disease, okay. Study of diseases, I guess. Leukemia. Who was Rudolf Virchow, and what was his contribution to oncology? Rudolf Virchow was a German pathologist considered to be the father of modern pathology. In the 1800s, and he was the leukemia. So he coined the term leukemia for the cancer to describe these of normal cell growth. So what did Rudolf Virchow think about John Bennett's theory about the separation blood? The separation of blood that Bennett was referring to was his observation of many white blood cells in a patient's body that suffering from leukemia. Back then, the disease was not coined as leukemia. Bennett originally thought it was due to an infection, thus causing the separation build of white blood cells in response to an infection caused by a wound. There's another thing like abscessus or something. I forgot. Okay, Farber's Gauntlet. So Virchow saw a similar case and asked himself, one, what of the enlarged what is going on with the enlarged spleen? And two, there was no noticeable skull wound / pus in either patient, his and Bennett's. Why was there no? This led him to believe that there was another explanation to the disease besides an infection. Right. Okay, so I think I'll end that there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Siddharth Mukherjee. Let me actually add that. Siddharth Mukherjee. Siddhartha. Okay. Who is the author of Emperor of All maladies. Okay, let me try typing that. Siddhartha Mukherjee. So he is a physician Damn, what a badass. He just looks swag. Cancer physician, professor, and researcher. Okay, guess I'm gonna have to find a different photo. It looks kind of sad in this, like very sad. Yes, it looks sad in this. Oh God, that's not good. But Siddhartha Mukherjee. Siddhartha Mukherjee. Okay. Yeah, one of the goats. All right. So I think that's good for now. We are on page 14 out of, I think, like 400. So went through that in War, chapter 1 of War. Now Palo Alto. Okay, so apparently this tries to go through. Yeah, this is also a massive book. Wait, so there's 5 sections, it seems like. This is from 1850 to 2020. The solid state. Maybe that's like the solid state drive. Okay. Palo Alto. History of, wait, what is this? California, capitalism and the world. California, capitalism and the world. Okay. So who is the author of Palo Alto? A history of California, capitalism and the world. Malcolm Harris. Who graduated from University of Maryland. an American, call it American journalist. What is Occupy Wall Street? Huh. Yeah, this book is definitely a lot. Funny. 1.5. Yeah. Hey, still try to finish it, see what happens. Okay. That leans grew up in Palo Alto. Involved in the Occupy Wall Street movement, so does not like capitalism. Went to UMD. Okay, cool. Yeah. Create deck. Oh, wait, let me see. What are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So, how many sections is Palo Alto splits into? What are they? How is the Palo Alto book structured? How many sections? Right. Palo Alto is structured into 5 sections that cover 50 years, starting at 1850. What are the sections? Each cover 50 years, starting at. Sections are as follows. So, section 1, 1850 to 1900. Section 2, 1900 to 1950. Section 3, 1950 to 25, okay, I guess 25 to 50 years. For 1975 to 2000. 2000 to 2020. So he does quote Karl Marx in his first, right? So it'll be like 20 to 25 sections. Got it. Okay. So Malcolm Harris. I wonder if I could take the Okay, so maybe I'll start with chapter 2.4, Man with Potential. This is about 180 pages in. I don't know if I really care for the first few pages. $181. So this is from 1900 to 1945. Okay. Federal Telegraph. So that seems interesting. What is Federal Telegraph? It was founded in Palo Alto. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Lee DeForest. Father of Radio came west of his partners in New York. Stock issue and spun off their assets to a new company, leaving. So think of it like this. There is a giant airplane hangar, and on one end there's a door, and behind the other is an endless stream of hungry cheetahs. This is the cathode. Remember, cat for hungry cheetahs. There then is a pile of recently deceased antelope for anode. When you energize the cathode, the cheetahs flow through the antelope toward it in a single direction. Assume no vegetarian cheetahs. We then add a set of supermarket-style sliding glass doors between our cathode and antelode. Oh. We can control this massive energetic flow from the pack with only the tiny amount of energy required to tell the doors to open. Now we have an amplifier. This is the limit by signal. Can only connect local calls. Triode invention. Okay. Metaphor for triode. So apparently this guy, what's his name? DeForest Triode. He invented the triode, which I guess is like one of the most fundamental circuits today. Cathode, so this is the the cheetahs. The anode is the antelope's plate. Okay, so let's create section. This is section 2 actually. All right, so 1900 to 1945. All right, men with potential. So what is the triode? What is attenuate? Use the force. Oh, okay. I think what this is saying is that if you have a radio signal, whatever that is, I guess it's like a wavelength of sorts. I don't know the exact physical details behind it, but I think this sort of makes sense intuitively. So if you're just to put out a signal from here all the way to, I live in Maryland, all the way to California, at some point, that's a super long distance, that signal might cut out. So if it cuts out, then an amplifier will send another signal that essentially reinforces it. I think that's the basic idea, or amplifies it. I guess that's what an amplifier does. Okay. What is an amplifier? Signal. What is a signal in science? Such as in temperature, sound, light, or pressure, essentially acting as how do radio waves carry information? What is a wave? Oh, wait. So does it turn into a discrete? Dude. Fire. This could be interesting. So I guess they encode bits of information, which I had no idea. Kind of like how maybe electrical signals. I know this is like getting deep into something, but it's interesting. Imagine the speech from two people talking as information carried by sound waves. If they talk in front of you, you can hear them, but the sound can only project so far, so fast. Now pit those two people talking on an airplane flying at high speed. This is the radio carrier wave that helps carry information quickly and to far distances. Planes moving too quickly for you to even comprehend what is. When synchronized move, let's say a splash drone exactly the same airspeed that you will be able to follow and hear the conversation. Controlling the speed of your splash drone to match the information. You can have multiple conversations. Interesting. So are radio waves electromagnetic? So if someone says that radio waves are electromagnetic, does that mean they are light? I don't know, maybe that's like too basic of a... Visible light. Okay. Visible light is often referred to specifically the visible spectrum. Okay. What is electromagnetism? What does electromagnetic mean? Yeah, this is where, oh my God, I always come back to this. I feel like I've never fully understood what an electric field and a magnetic field is. But I guess probably as long as I just understand there's this spectrum, the electromagnetic spectrum, I think that's good for now. It's good for now. Okay, so going back to this. Okay, how should I put this? Okay, so who is, what's his name? Lee DeForest and I guess I'll start here. Lee DeForest was a pioneer in electronics during the early 1900s and helped invent the triode. Damn, what a stud. Were triodes used for signal amplification? I guess it's an electronic device used for signal amplification. So what is a triode and what was its purpose when invented? The triode was an electronic device invented by Lee DeForest in Triode. I guess it's not specific, but it seems like he invented the addion, which was then the blueprint for the triode. But I'm just say this for now. That was used to amplify signals, was the basis for radio technology, able to send information across far distances via radio waves. Okay, so with that, it's 7:02. I think it's been 2 hours since we started. Yeah, went through a decent amount of flashcards. So I think I'm gonna end this here. Probably pick up the stream later today on my other channel. Tune in. But yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this, and we'll definitely need to try to finish these books. There's a lot. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.